Years and years ago, there was another YouTuber that went by the name Logan Runnin on YouTube. And he transitioned from a person who was a true believer in some of the propaganda and BS out there to a person who ended up debunking it. And it's one of the reasons I became a debunker, one of many. And it was genuinely fun and weird when he was around. At one point, he fell victim to the same really horrible, really backbiting, bad part of the internet. And he just went off and just decided to live his life and be as happy as possible, and I miss him. Every once in a while, he'll send me an email like Merry Christmas, that sort of thing, which is nice. But anyway, one of the things about him is that he was very well known at one time for being a person who figured out he'd made a simple, basic mistake in his presumptions and learned from it. And that is the worst thing on earth for some people out there who are true believers to see happen. But more importantly, the people who want them to stay true believers, who don't want them to think for themselves, they become a massive target when you take the purple pill, as I called it. Anyway, Logan Runnin, which we used to happily refer to him as Charlie Frost's, stunt double or lost brother. He was mentioned at the 14-minute and 29-second mark on Coast2CoastAM back in 2013. And it was referring to something called Are You a Planet X Soldier for Truth, which was the name of a open letter to him by somebody. And this was done by people being very reasonable, including Coast2CoastAM. And today, Coast2CoastAM, as far as I'm concerned, flagged my video for using 5 minutes of it. This was a 36-minute long audio recording out of many hours from a coast-to-coast broadcast. I was under the understanding at the time that they didn't claim any copyrights to it that said that you couldn't use portions of the video or audio data, for the broadcast. I honestly didn't think that they would do that. So I uploaded them talking about Logan Runnin and how brave or foolish he was being for, at the time, questioning the status quo in alternative media on YouTube and on the internet. And then I get this. A copyright owner using Content ID has claimed some material in your video. As a result, your video has been blocked and can no longer be played on YouTube. This is not a copyright strike. The claim does not affect your account status. Yeah, it does. That's a lie. No, I'm not joking about it. I'm not being histrionic. It really is a lie. But it won't cause my channel to be flagged. This is ironic because, well, I'll read the rest later. Anyway, the video is titled 2013-09-26 Coast2CoastAM mentions Logan Runnin at the 14-minute and 29-second mark. Charlie Frost, lost brother, as I called him, and mine. Copyright content from PlanetXSpecial, Marshall Masters, Gordon, I can't pronounce it, Jasson, Martel, Eric Parker, and Douglas Elwel. Claimed by AdRev. They didn't spell it correctly because it's A-D, capital R-E-V. You're supposed to pay capitalized A and R there. For rights holders. So AdRev, ad revenue, some entity, flagged this, or claimed, as they say, for the rights holders above. How to unblock your video? No, I'm going to explain this quickly. You don't. You just take it down. They made it invisible. They made it to where you can't comment on it, etc. And I can't use, you can also remove the claimed content. Well, it's the entire audio program. Please only use it if you're confident you have rights to all the content on your video. Now, the part that was claimed is obviously the audio, but they're not specifying what it is exactly, but it's obviously the audio. Now, here's the problem with it. I was under the impression this stuff could be used in remixes because it always has been. So apparently AdRev and, most importantly, Coast2CoastAM have flagged my video. Period, full stop. Now, I also know of another sneaky way somebody could trick the system into doing this for revenge, and I'm not mentioning their names, but let's move on. I was copyright flagged by AdRev for rights holders, PlanetXSpecial, Marshall Masters, Gordon, I can't pronounce it, Jasson, Martel, Eric Parker, Douglas Elwel, etc., for using a 5-minute clip from a 38-minute long Coast2CoastAM broadcast from 2013 that mentioned an open letter 4 days earlier to YouTuber Logan Runnan about the power of suppression on YouTube at the 14-minute and 29-second mark. 14 and a half minutes in the recording, I sampled it for around 5 minutes. And irony of ironies, the open letter to him, to Logan Runnan, was about the power of suppression, people being shut up on YouTube. That's kind of funny. Anyway, I just wanted to point out something. I have recently made videos that mocked people who used to say that they had power over me and could shut me up for the same thing that people tried to shut up Logan Runnan over. Him explaining, not arguing, not proving, explaining why you're wrong on the internet. And I've been threatened via email by a couple of people recently that they're going to start up again. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Once someone has agreed to stop haranguing you on the net, make it impossible for them to do so, and don't back down. Don't be fair to someone who's unfair to you. And I made a couple of videos replying to this sort of behavior. I didn't reply to the most extreme one, who is, well, some of you might recognize him if you are on the worst part of the internet as being a former person in the adult entertainment industry that got into a copyright dispute over the Obama poster, the Obama Joker poster, and somehow in an argument, in fact, in person apparently, with Gene Simmons of KISS. Now, unless you know exactly what I'm talking about, I can't explain it because it sounds as cockamamie as it does. And if you already know who it is, you know why I'm not mentioning this person. There are some people on the internet that are literal predators. But barring that, this looks like Coast2CoastAM flagged me for using audio content that I was under the impression they had no problem with people reusing and remixing. It was a legit remix, I thought. But anyway, I'm not given a real option here, and AdRev is the one flagging me. But I'm going to title the video, I was copyright flagged, or copyright claimed. We have to use the word claim, not flagged. Same thing to the video. By AdRev and all of the people listed, and Coast2CoastAM. And if they want to explain to me in a detailed way why I was flagged, that's fine. But years ago, I checked on this. I did. I'm using a link that only goes to, of all places, a copy of the data off of archive.org that was posted there so people could listen to it. I was under the impression that you could do small portions of it, verbatim, and use it for a work. But I didn't add enough content to it or whatever. Okay, but I'm still titling it this way. If you have any content from Coast2CoastAM and you don't do at least something during it, I guess they're starting to flag it. And again, it's Coast2CoastAM that looks like they're flagging me, not AdRev. Okay? Next thing is, if AdRev is your bulldog, get a chain on it tighter. So anyway, that was the screen from the video, if you're curious. It's literally just a screen grab. It was me showing some artwork that was done by Logan Runnan, and it was also reused by one of the websites. It was, back when Logan Runnan was a person like me who had to set up multiple channels due to getting constantly flagged and copyright striked fraudulently. So, hey, Coast to Coast, if you're watching, the last time I checked, it actually said on your website we were allowed to use small portions of it, so I don't know. Anyway, got flagged, got screwed, files getting erased. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. Par for the course on YouTube. Welcome to the new age.